Hello, everybody. My name is Chris4210, and I welcome you to another exciting episode of the BitShares Hangout. Today, episode 10. We're just starting in March, and we're gonna have a lot of cool updates coming up. Latest information about what is happening in the BitShares ecosystem. It's very, very busy, and a lot of cool new things are happening. We are preparing a new stress test coming up. We are looking into liquidity programs, and today, I'm really curious because we have one of our community members, Johnny Bitcoin, who's going to introduce the first real cool free trading bot that is available for the BitShares blockchain, and this allows you to do a lot of cool things over a web interface. There's also another trading bot that you can download. This is from one of our oldest members of the BitShares community, Sirok. He also has the so-called stake machine. You can find that for free on GitHub. But today's feature that we want to present at the beginning of every show is going to be presented by Johnny Bitcoin, and he's going to do a short introduction about a free trading bot that you can use for a decentralized exchange. Johnny Bitcoin, tell us more about it.
Okay, can you hear me okay? Okay,
Yes, we
cool.
can hear.
Okay, so btsbots.com. You can just whack it in your browser now if you're on a computer and have a look. It was created by Alt, who is a well-respected member of the BitShares community, Chinese, so there is often a bit of a language barrier sometimes. I've been playing around with it. He has announced on the forum maybe a month or two ago. I still don't fully know everything about it and how it works, but it's basically a trading bot for BitShares. And in the same way, when you use the BitShares GUI, you don't have to reveal your private key, so you can have your private keys browser side and not reveal them. So with one of your shares accounts, maybe not your main one, but if you set up another one, you can log in with a private key and then be able to do some market making or arbitrage, or well, basically market making at the moment. That's the main model. So Alt or BTS Bots has a reference price. I think most of them come from Poloniex, and you can say I'm willing to buy at reference price minus 1% or minus 2%, and basically make any of the assets. I think he's only providing reference prices for some of the main markets, so maybe USD to Bitcoin and shares to Bitcoin and a few others. But it's good, and I think he said on the forums that there's about 20 people using it, or 20 active accounts. They're only active with small amounts. Obviously, this is new software, and even though you keep your private key, you still have to trust Alt and the way he's written the program, and maybe he could mess with the reference price, or the reference price might go wrong. So there's still things that could go wrong, but it is good, and it is quite easy. I've found it's quite basic, because a lot of bot trading software is quite complex, and a lot of it you don't even have a user interface. So I think he's going to improve time as well. I asked him to add where the reference price is coming from, so you know the source of the reference price. He's also got a chat room, which is very quiet and nobody talks in, but I'm in there. The account I'm using with this is called Gypsy5, if anybody sees me chatting in there. So yeah, it's pretty good, and you can also see on the main page it's got user volume, so last 28 days of volume by user, so done the most volume, and then it's also got who's made the most profit. I don't know how accurate these are, as Chris pointed out, somebody's lost a lot of yuan in the last 28 days, if that is accurate reporting. But I strongly recommend lots of people check it out, give it a try with small amounts and not your main account. And as you get more confident, you could really help BitShares itself with liquidity. I'd stick to the main pairs, so the basic ones like US dollars, BTC, and Bitcoin. So that's kind of a brief overall introduction to how it works. I'm not an expert. If someone is an expert, I'd like to speak to them and I think this week I'm going to make a video tutorial of how it works and how to use it. Okay, that's basically an intro to tsbots.com.
Oh, it sounds very good. Thank you very much for the intro. Just got a short question because I have one trading bot that I use for the Poloniex exchange, and I was wondering if it's similar with this bot, if they have the feature already. Did you look a little bit more into the trading code, how that is working? So basically, you said like, okay, this is a market. I want to trade US dollar to BitShares. And then you can say like, okay, he has to put like, a price 1% below the latest price, and then it will basically build up a buy and sell wall on both sides, or will it just buy low, sell high? Did you look into that a little bit?
Yeah, exactly as you said. So it's got a reference price like the actual market price on Poloniex, and you say I'm willing to buy at that price minus 2% or minus 5%, and I'm willing to sell at that price plus 5% or whatever. So you can market make and you can create a spread of 5 or 10%, whatever you fancy. And that is its basic function. That's what it's set up to do. And so it's perfect for being a market maker. And I'm using it a little bit. I'm not too confident at the moment, but over time, I hope to get more confident and more trust in the software and can market make with larger amounts.
And did you also try the stake machine from Xerox?
No, because I am not technical at all. I can't code. I can only interact with something if it has a GUI, basically. Sadly, I didn't learn programming.
So if it has a button, it's good to go. All right,
But yeah,
good.
buttons work. Oh,
Well,
also, just a point of interest. Because I've been looking into liquidity and how we can get liquidity for the DEX, and I've been providing liquidity on the USDT, US dollar Tether, and BitUSD markets with quite decent amounts of liquidity. So if you want to get into the BitShares ecosystem and acquire lots of decentralized dollar BitUSD, you can go and buy a bundle of centralized dollar, which is USD Tether, on either Poloniex or Bitfinex. Bring it into the DEX via Open Ledger's gateway, and then swap it for BitUSD. So I put 2% on that at the moment. I think I've got about $16,000 worth USD. If anybody wants to gobble that up.
yeah, I'm just looking at that. That looks pretty good. There's a nice wall in there. Probably can look into providing more liquidity on both sides. So that would be good.
I did have a wall on both sides, and it was about equal, but someone had one side of the wall. So maybe I'll bring in some more
All right.
wall up on the other side as well.
Good. Let's see. For today's topic, we had a good question here. So in the BitShares Hangout we are in right now, there is not really a time schedule. It is more that we are talking about what is happening in the BitShares ecosystem, and we talk about different topics, and everybody can come up with a topic and present it. If you want to do an introduction for a new witness, or for a committee, or if you have a worker plant, or you have any other kind of feedback you would like to discuss in this week's Hangout, then this is the right time to do and to speak up. I think one of the most important things, or the most curious things everybody's very excited about, is the upcoming speed test. The speed test for the 15th of March. We're gonna basically we have, I think, 8 or 9 different servers who are going to participate, and they're all going to create a lot of volume on the chain. And Zurich is already working on a really good interface so that we can really show basically what is happening. You can find that interface if you go to http stats.bitshares.eu, and then you need to do /#test. You can also find that in the forum if you go to the bitsharestalk.org forum and you look for testnet stress test March 15. We're going to start at 3 p.m. UTC. And we are looking for active participants who want to flood the test network, not the real network, but the test network with a lot of transactions. And what we are looking really forward to is to have a cool new record. We have a good big goal. I think the last time we made 10,000 transactions per block, so it's more or less 3,000 transactions per second. This is, I think, the old goal, and this time we're really looking forward to break that. And I also think about and I talked with Sirk already about that, and I need your input here too. What if we do a stress test and we try to get the maximum? Yeah, not just basically to say, yeah, maybe we do a little bit and we put a small computer in, but what if you could say, like, let's really try to get the 100,000? And I'm open to the discussion. What is really needed to do that? What kind of server structure do we need? Are the flooding scripts, are they already ready? I don't know if Sirk is already here to talk about it, but I would like to really initiate this maximum stress test so that we can really use it for marketing purposes. So Sirk is not here. Do we have somebody else who's participating in the stress test?
Yes, I am also. Now, I don't know the answers to the detailed answers to the questions that you're bringing up, and to how to know where the slow points of the test might be, whether it might be on the witness side and or the network speed side. And of course, also there's also the side, and are we providing enough input transactions? That's another consideration as well.
Yeah, that is all about the right flooding script you can use. And as far as I understand, basically you need not only one big server, but you need at least a couple, because the big servers, they're going to kick out all the smaller ones. As far as I understand it correctly.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'll have to think about that more. I think yes, perhaps Xerox would know those answers better.
Fox is also bringing up a point. He's saying that if you want to get the maximum of consensus, we maybe have to eliminate the P2P code. What do you mean with that, Fox? What do we have to do here? Do you have a microphone so that you could speak up? Okay, no mic. So basically, all witnesses are in a single node. That is the answer. How do we eliminate the peer-to-peer code? Well, as far as I understand it, if you can basically also say, like, you don't need to have a global decentralized distribution of all the witnesses, yeah, and then you can be faster, but then we couldn't really prove that we can do it decentralized.
Yes, I agree with Fox. That's not the test that we want. But it just does give us an upper limit with which to compare against.
Well, my idea is basically that we are going to have a regular stress test on the 15, and then maybe 1 week later we're going to have a max stress test, so that we can really say, like, okay, how much can we really go? How far can we push the code and the network?
That makes sense.
So if you have to get, like, I don't know, 512 gigabyte RAM machine in here, then we just say, like, okay, this is it.
And I think one of the questions that I'm wondering about for the stress test is how what's the duration that we want for the test, a sustained throughput level, in order to consider it a decent test.
I'm not sure about that, but if you look at the current testnet, it has huge swings basically, where it's like, every block or every third block there's a huge amount of transactions, and then the next block there's just a few. So it's going up and down very fast. But of course, it would be interesting to have like a continuous flow of transactions every second.
Yes, agreed.
So Fox is writing the stress test will be. Oh, okay. So you say we could have it for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, or 1 hour, and we're just going to measure the output during that time interval, right? Yes. Okay. Good. Well, what is the 15th of March, anyways? Is that a Friday? That's a Wednesday. Okay. So it's going to be Wednesday in 2 weeks at 3 p.m. UTC. We're going to have the stress test here, and I hope we're going to have also a radio show coming with that along, so that everybody can listen to that and can experience it in real time. How many transactions we really can put through. I think that is something that it's going to be a lot of fun to see and to talk about it on all different kind of channels, to really say like, okay, listen, this is what we can do, and this is also basically my motivation why I would like to have a max stress test, so that we really maybe put up a worker or take some extra money to say like, okay, if you get the biggest machines and we really max out the flooding scripts, and we have 6 7 big fat machines, then we can really see how far we can go. And I think that would be an awesome statement that we then can take out on social media, on the press, on CoinDesk, and everywhere. See, like, this is what we can do. We have no problems to put out 20,000, 30,000 transactions per second, and in this way we are faster already than Visa. And here's proof. You could see it live. It's recorded. Everybody knows it. It is a real cool test, and I'm looking forward to do that. I really would like to use that for a big marketing campaign, and to put BitShares more into the spotlight from our technology.
Yep, indeed, that would be great.
For the next topic, I would like to pick up, because I had no really time to go through all the Telegram messages in the last 2 3 days. There was a lot of stuff, but maybe you guys picked up a little bit more consens. Do we see any change in the witness activity during the last 2 weeks? We raised the price, and I know that FAF was doing a couple of tests with witnesses, witness response rate, and so on. And a couple of witnesses responded pretty fast, a couple were a little bit slower. Do we see anything other things that changed since we raised the payments for them? Fox, you have a couple more things? So we have a couple of, Takenator, you say you don't really see any changes yet for the witnesses, okay. I know that
Yes, but
FAF was doing a test. What did you say?
Oh, well, all I was saying was I did not see changes in the witness behavior. Looking for it carefully, so maybe there was something there that I missed.
Well, I think it's very important that we are carefully now watching and observing and seeing what is changing, how many witnesses are going to change their behaviors, is there going to be an improve, or they're going to be the same stories, so that we can really have a better idea. Was it worth it to raise? Do we have to lower the prices again? So we will have to check that. That is true. Johnny Bitcoin just brought up a very good point. Since we erased the witness pay on the cryptofresh.com blockchain explorer, the owner and programmer Roadscape, he put up a message that he is promoting his services and he's asking people to vote for him and to elect him as a witness. I think that is a good step. That shows that he's still very active, although that we have a couple of problems with the Explorer, and I would love to see it more stable. And we have to see how this Explorer will gonna get better and better over the next couple of weeks. And I'm looking forward, of course, for more witness proposals, active witnesses who want to get started on BitShares and promoting their services. I think for today we don't really have so many comments about the witnesses, so I would like to move forward to the next topic. I got a good update about the forum integrations. Johnny Bitcoin was asking me that. The last week I was talking with another colleague of Ronald, who's in charge of the BitShares Foundation. There were a couple of family problems with Ronald, so he was very, very inactive the last couple of weeks. So he was not really responding, but I think most of that is solved already. So I hope that I can have a talk with him very soon, and then we can really talk about, okay, how do we can activate the BitShares Foundation to host the new forum, and so that we can say, okay, here we have an entity who's paying the server bills, who's paying the hosting, and we have somebody who's in charge of all the private the keys for the server hosting, and then we can move the BitSharesTalk.org forum from the current infrastructure to the new infrastructure, and then we're also going to change the platform into Discourse, I think is the name, right? Discourse, not Discord. Two different platforms, so very similar names. It's a little bit tricky with that one. So in this way, I'm still working on that, and I hope I have a couple of good answers soon. And then we can really see, okay, how can we move forward with that topic of the forum and get a better interface. What is new today? I think we have 2 questions from the Steam announcement. So every day or every time I'm posting an announcement that we're going to have a new Hangout, and we have 2 commentaries today. One of the commentaries is from Marco Pazilla, and he was asking a couple of questions. I just have to read it shortly again. So one of the questions he was asking about is about liquidity improvements. I think that is always a big topic. We talked already about that the last time about the liquidity contest, that we really should focus on BitShares, Bitcoin, and USD, and that we should create big volumes in these markets.
Yes, I think the general issues that he's been bringing up, and also his ideas for possibly how to do it and what to focus on, have been helpful, I think.
Vito Grove is also saying that he started a market about BitShares to mate, and he's looking for people who are going to have or are willing to provide more liquidity in the made markets.
Yeah, I think he did provide good liquidity for MAID versus BTS, and then since then he was talking about moving it to USD because he thinks that makes more sense. There was a big conversation in the Telegram chat about that he was kind of spearheading and saying we should really focus on BitUSD and have it as the main market pair that we concentrate on. And then obviously people were saying, well, we need different pairs for different things and customized GUIs. And the one West use the GUI that the West uses is OpenLedger, and it's up to OpenLedger how they structure it. But the argument of concentrating on BitUSD pairs would be, when we talk about BitShares and how great it is, we can at least then say if you trade on our exchange, then you can't have your dollars stolen, because if you're always trading in the USD pair, then no one can steal your dollars. But say if you were trading in OpenBTC to OpenMade, then both could be stolen or hacked.
And you want to have an own interface just for the USD markets?
Sorry, I missed that.
So the proposal was that we are creating an own interface just for the USD market, and then we create one for the euro, and then one for the Asian markets.
Yeah, I think he was talking about that. I don't know how to move that forward. I mean, we were trying to persuade OpenLedger to remove their tab, so they've got an OBIT tab on the OpenLedger, which doesn't seem sensible to me, because OBITs is like a base asset, and you can trade it in the three other tabs, even if the OBITs tab wasn't there. I've asked Ronnie to remove it a few times, but he won't have any of it because OBITs is like.
I think OBITS is more like a stock. It's a brand where you can invest into. It would make sense to have it on tab, but I think the asset is still too small.
Yeah, it's not a base asset. Well, whichever way you put it, even if it became really, really big and it had loads of trade, it's not a base asset. I mean, like Ethereum is not a base asset. It's not really traded as a base asset. So, I mean, it's up to Ronnie though, because it's his GUI. But, I mean, yeah, maybe we do another front end which just is dedicated to UAE for new people who visit the exchange, because at the moment there's so many market pairs and there's so much going on, and you can flip the market pairs around and you can confuse yourself quite quickly. If you had a GUI that was limited, then it'd be easier to understand and to trade, especially for new people. I mean, yeah, someone could do it. I could do it. I think Data Security Knows said he could do it with Freedom Ledger. It's just an idea. It was just basically, I think what the guy was talking about, I can't pronounce his name, Mark. But basically what he was saying is we need to focus on BitUSD because that's the way to liquidity.
Johnny Bitcoin, are you actually also trading on regular markets, stocks, bonds, or forex?
No, I haven't done for years. I have done, but nothing fancy, just purchasing stock. But obviously, I trade on Poloniex and a few other places. So no.
I'm just wondering what is currently the most popular trading platform for where you can trade with brokers and so on, where you can do all the forex trading. And I was wondering, how do they have the interface for all the different assets? Because I know in BitShares it's a little bit confusing, but if you are like on a regular stock exchange, you have way more assets, way more stocks you could trade. I was wondering, how do you find them? Is it you have to basically just type in their numbers, their stock numbers, that you find them, or is there like a long list, or how does it work there?
Well, I've never used the Bloomberg terminal or anything like that, and to be honest, I don't think we are anywhere near even considering using something like that yet. I mean, if you're in the crypto world, which we are, there's a whole bunch of exchanges, and there's custom software which will aggregate those exchanges. So I was actually speaking to some guys in Germany who've written a piece of software. It's called Margin. Was it called marginsoftware.de? I think is their URL, and they've got a piece of software called Leonardo. Basically, it's the trading interface which allows you to have all the different exchanges. So you can have Bitfinex, you can have Poloniex, about 5 or 6 different commonly used exchanges, and have them all open in the same window and just tab between them. So it makes it easier to arbitrage and market make between markets. I actually spoke to Rene, who's in the BitShares chat room, and he is part of that company that makes that trading software. And I was asking him if they could integrate BitShares into their trading software to make market making easier and to basically mirror an order book across from Poloniex into the DEX to kind of get that liquidity going and make us an actual useful exchange. And he said, yeah, they could do it and they could write that software, but it's going to cost about a ballpark figure of 50K US dollars.
Just to get the
I know
better
Xerox
trading interface, or?
No, it's not. It's not necessarily a trading interface. It's an aggregation of. You have one window. You've got a piece of software that you run, and you've got one window open, and you've got use APIs from all the different exchanges that are out there, but you can view them all from the same window. So you can check the trade pairs. So US dollar Bitcoin, and you can check it. You can get on all the different exchanges. So if you see a discrepancy in the price or something, you can take advantage of it. And over time, they hope to develop more, and there'll be more automated cross-exchange arbitrage
Okay,
type things you
but
can
probably
do.
you don't have a cross-exchange trading bot so that you can trade on different exchanges at the same time.
Oh, sorry. I've got the echo.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, sorry, I didn't really hear what you said then because I've got this weird issue with my microphone on my phone and my speakers on my computer.
The question was if that bot is already allowing you to trade on different exchanges at the same time, because this is like the holy grail of trading bots. If you want to sell, like, let's say 500 bitcoins, you don't want to do that on one exchange. You want to do that basically split up in different exchanges at the same time, so that you push down the market controlled and not too crazy, and in this way you get a better rate for the whole deal.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, you want to aggregate all the markets, all the order book together. So if you've got 5 different exchanges, all trading USD to Bitcoin, if you can aggregate all those order books into one platform and you can see all the buys and all the sells, then obviously that's good if you want to sell a lot, buy a lot, or take advantage of arbitrage indices. The reason I spoke to this guy mainly was to try and bring the order book, so you can copy the order book from Poloniex or copy the order book from Bitfinex and just replicate it in the BitShares DEX, so that we have deep markets, because we need liquidity. That's our biggest issue, and the easiest way to do it is just to copy order books in real time across to our DEX.
How would that actually
right
work,
now,
or how would
that
that
lets me
look
do
like?
that.
How would something like copying an order book market, how would that work?
On Poloniex, you've got USD Tether against Bitcoin, so there's the order book there, and you've just got the Poloniex API, and you can copy the order books across to the BitShares DEX, but maybe add like 1% or 2% on either side of it. So you get the market depth, but someone has to manage that and someone has to run that, and you have to trust the bot that does it.
But isn't that you have basically one interface on, let's say, BitShares, and then actually your money is still sitting on the Poloniex exchange. You're just controlling it through the BitShares interface, and in that way you can trade your balances on Poloniex on the deeper market.
You have this custom software, which is one trading interface that lets you trade on all the exchanges, and all those exchanges like Poloniex, Bitfinex, and also hopefully we could pay them to integrate BitShares DEX as well. But that's like, they said to me, like, ballpark figure of 50 grand. The guy I spoke to, Rene, there's 3 of them. They started the company about a year ago. It's specifically for crypto market. They're all in Germany, living in the same town. They've all got PhDs, very clever. Rene's met Xerox a few different conferences, and they've had a conversation. So Could see what Xerox thinks about their software, and if it does make sense and it is a good idea, and we could mirror this liquidity across, then maybe it's worth doing a worker proposal and paying them that way.
Definitely interesting topic. Have to look a little more into their software, and maybe looking forward to meet them and see what we can do.
I'll put a link in the box. Oh, someone else already has done. Yeah, marginsoftware.de.
Yeah, I found them already, but probably have to set up a meeting with them.
One question that I have is, in terms of priorities, what do people think in terms of being able to, as Johnny was talking about now, about being able to have this cross-exchange trading interface? That's one idea, compared to enhancing, let's say, a BitShares DEX view that's focused on one or two highlighted assets, such as BitUSD and BTS. Let's say just between those two ideas, is one of those ideas more important than another to people here?
I'm a little bit confused. Could you say the two things again?
Sure. Yes. So I'm just trying to identify the various ideas that we've been talking about today, and then possibly to try to rank them in terms of priority. So I think one idea was what you were just talking about, Johnny, which was perhaps integrating with software like from Margin Software to add in the BitShares DEX, the BitShares thing, and that's one idea. Another idea that was discussed, I think, earlier today was to enhance, let's say, our web wallet or light client to maybe just have a simpler interface that focuses on just, let's say, BitUSD, for example. So that was the second idea.
Well, there are, of course, there are different ideas, and there's not really a ranking yet, and there's also no, they're not really follow up in a way that we say like, okay, let's do this first or that first. It's more like an idea collection to say like, okay, this would be interesting to do, and then we still have to figure out a way how to say like, okay, how do we get the funding and the team and everything to transform that.
The second idea that we talked that was just mentioned now, by creating a GUI which just focuses on BitUSD. I mean, that's very easy. That's just incredibly easy. We just take the GUI, cut out a bunch of trade pairs and host it somewhere and give it some attention. But most people are using OpenLedger, and it's up to Ronnie and OpenLedger what they do, and I don't think he's going to want to limit it just to USD, because he can make more money when the trade pair is against OpenBTC, because he can get the trade fee from OpenBTC and the trade fee from the other asset it trades against.
Sure. So on that last point, I understand. I appreciate Ronnie's perspective on it, but I'm just wondering, since that idea has been at least discussed on Telegram as kind of an important idea, I'm wondering whether perhaps we should push that perhaps on what we can act on, which is perhaps highlighting such an interface maybe on the BitShares.org website, for example.
Well, yeah, we have BitShares.org/wallet, which is the open source for BitShares, and that is slightly different to OpenLedger's one, and that is the one which is the same as the light client. So, if there's consensus in the community, we could limit that down to BitUSD. I'm not sure there would be consensus though for the reference client, because people want to be able to trade everything. So I think it would have to be a new hosted GUI. I could do it I could fund it, 'cause I don't technically know how to do it, but
don't you have already an exchange that you're hosting?
I've got a domain name and I've registered a bunch of assets. I've got the dex.org and I've got btsdex.com and btsdex.org. And I've had in my mind for over a year that maybe one day I want to start an exchange. I'm just still undecided, like if I want to commit that kind of time, money, and responsibility to actually doing it. I could just host the DEX as a BitUSD only exchange. I won't be providing the UIAs, but just as a front end, it's not much effort. I don't think maybe I should just do that.
Oh, maybe that would be an interesting start to say like, okay, we use that because you already have it hosted. It is online. You have the domain, and we're just gonna change the markets that are displayed. Maybe that's fairly easy to do, and then it would be quite an interesting comparison to promote that.
Yeah, I should do. I should. If I guess SVK or I can. I mean, obviously SVK is the GUI master. If someone else in here can like help me with that or for me basically, and I'll pay you, then that would be good. I could do that. Just a BitUSD focused exchange where you've only got BitUSD pairs and you can't switch your trade pairs around, and it only allows. And I think more simplification of the deposit page, or so you don't get the choice. You only get open ledger assets. That's your only choice. Simplifies it.
Johnny,
Basically,
actually,
a simplification of the UI we already have.
Johnny, can you tell me or tell us a little bit about how did you set up this exchange? Is it very hard to do? How do you host that site on the domain? How do you do that?
That's not a real exchange. That's just like it's like a mock-up. It's like ideas I've had for the GUI, and I just mock them up in. I mean, it's live and you can go there, but it's not a real exchange. All it does, if you click on register or go click on markets, all it does is it links you to .org/wallet.
Okay. So basically, it's just a picture, and then when you click on it, you basically have a referral link back. Okay.
Yeah, so I can get the if someone signs up through that somehow, then I could get referral. But yeah, it's just me kind of brainstorming. You know, like I say, I have considered making an exchange. I don't want to commit to it yet.
But I was just wondering how.
I think a simple GUI is easy because I'm not providing the UIAs, I'm not providing the gateway, I'm just hosting the GUI. It's easy, and I should just do it really.
Yeah, but it would be interesting to know how hard is that. I mean, like a couple of days ago, I was looking at the eDinar interface because I wanted to see like, okay, how could you basically change the interface for BitShares, and if you just have a good design, how would that look like from the look and feel? And I mean, like they did a lot of customization. They really changed a lot of the interface, but you have still the core functions, and they have the pop-up windows are actually all the same, which is pretty funny. So they're all BitShares pop-up windows, and then the rest is regular stuff or their stuff. But it would be interesting to know, like, how difficult is that? Is that maybe something we could also look into to say, you know what, guys, if you want to have your own exchange, your own windows into the BitShares blockchain, it's just super simple. You just have to go. It's like installing a WordPress on your hosted system. It's super simple.
Yeah, iHashFury, he's posted his own GUI. And he's got his own node, and I think he's got his own faucet as well. So if you go to altcap.io, he's got his own GUI there, and he's got more market pairs, which is not what we want, but yeah, it's easy to do.
Well, now I'm on fire. I think I should try that. That sounds pretty fun. Just get a cool domain, fire it up, and start promoting it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I need help because I can't do it.
Well, maybe somebody else has a good idea or is getting inspired to do that, because I mean, like, if you really think about it, BitShares is a global marketplace. Everybody is getting connected. Everybody can basically look and connect his website into the BitShares blockchain, and you have a lot of different interfaces, but everybody is sharing one global order book. And I think that is a very interesting topic, because if you say like, I want to open a Bitcoin exchange, because Bitcoin is cool and I want to get it. Well, usually what you have to do is you have to get your own software, and then you have to do a website. You have to think about a account management system to get everybody in. And then you have set it all up. Great. But then the next thing is, okay, how do I get users? And how do I get a market? How do I add liquidity in the books so that people are willing to trade? And I think the beginning, like 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, if you went to CCDK to the beginnings, the order books were totally dead. And there was nothing going on. And what usually exchanges do, or exchange software providers, are providing you a trading bot that is mimicking Kraken or Bitstamp or Poloniex markets, and are filling up your market so that your exchange is not empty. And if you compare now that with BitShares, you have a global exchange. You have the same market for everybody, for every exchange. The only big difference is that the interface, how to trade on that market, is different, and that is depending on the product and the website that you're using. In this way, BitShares is like a big house, and you have a lot of different windows to look inside the house and see what's going on. What kind of party do we have? And everybody can basically build a window, and everybody can basically create a new room, a new trading room where a big party is happening. But for you as a young entrepreneur, as a startup, as a company, it's very simple to create your window and to be part of that global market. And I think that is very exciting. And if we have somebody here who could help us with a little tutorial or maybe more insights next time, I think that would be pretty cool to learn more about that, to see like, okay, how easy is that? How difficult is that? Maybe I can even make a product out of that, because maybe there's a company who just wants to create loyalty points, and they want to use a blockchain, and you can basically sell them a product and say like, okay, you know what? Here's a blockchain, totally free, asset creation, €6. And I'm just going to give you a really nice interface. I'm going to program a little bit, and you're in. It's very simple to get started, and I think that is a fantastic opportunity for a lot of people to do that. And I'm curious what we can see coming up over the next couple of months. Of more and more people are learning about that. There's also, like, we are almost coming to an end for this week's show. I just wanted to chat a little bit about the latest Dash rise. The Dash coin had a huge price increase. Is now trending on number 3. What do you guys think about that? Do you have an opinion about the Dash currency and the success? Or do you think there's a new trend coming up that people are more looking into other currencies as well?
I was shorting Dash and got fucked on the way up.
Oh
I
dear.
got stopped out right at the top of the well, like 44 or something. So I lost 2 bitcoins trying to short Dash. I don't know why it's going crazy. Everyone I speak to says you want to be using Monero instead because it's better. Apparently, it's more technically superior. But yeah, bloody hell, Dash is crazy. Like I know Amanda B Johnson, who does the Dash. She used to do Daily Decrypt. She now works for Dash full time. Dash have got a similar payment mechanism like we have. You can vote for what projects you want to get funded. I think she must be on like 20 grand a month now because Dash has gone up so high.
But is it just like a big bubble? Did it just was it the what is anarchist Anarchopulco? Yeah, I mean, like, was there like a big speech and everybody just like, oh, now this is great, and there was like an initial big pump coming?
The pump came because everybody heard they were integrating with BlockPay.
Oh yeah. Well, I can't say it's not my fault, but of course we are partnering with Dash. I mean, like, it's a cool platform, it's a good currency, um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to see what other currency is going to make it and reach more mainstream adoption. I think Dash has a lot of potential, and I was wondering, do we see other currencies coming as well?
They do spend a lot of money on marketing, and I think that's obviously helped them a lot. Yeah.
Well, it's part of their. That's what I like on Dash, that they have an inflation for a couple of percent every year, and then from that new generated coins, well, they mine that basically. They are taking 10% and putting that into the core dev team, and this is how they are financing all their marketing, their future development, their business relations, and everything. I come to really like that system in a certain way, where you say like, yes, we have an inflation, but part of that is really coming to the core team, and in this way we can promote the whole platform. I think that is a good idea. I'm looking forward. I'm trying to compare different platforms, because you have a lot of platforms where you just say like, you have you do an ICO and 10% of the ICO funds are for the core dev team, and with that they are financing the whole platform. But that means you really have to pump the coin up so that you can live from the 10% of coins that you have, and you need to sell them all the time. And actually, you're selling out your own stake in the platform just to promote the platform. I don't know if that is really a sustainable model for the long term. So I think the Dash system here has really something very unique. And also, as somebody wrote here in the chat room, because you have to, if you want to get the benefits of the whole network, you have to create these master nodes, and you have to lock away like 10,000 Dash, and then you can upgrade. I think I like that system a lot. And if you look into the BitShares system, it's a little bit similar. Maybe we have to think really more about how do you make profits with shorting bit assets. And if you have BitUSD and you created that, if you're one of those creators, there should be a very clear business model behind it. And in my point of view, it's market making. You create a UA, you provide the market, you sell it, you buy it all the time, back and forward. And with that way, you get a benefit of creating all these tokens, and you make a profit with that. And in the same way, as a side effect, you are locking away a lot of BitShares, because once they are in the collateral, they're out of the business. You cannot use it anymore. So if you think about large numbers, if you want to put in, let's say, 50 million euros into BitShares, um, you're going to lock away a lot of BitShares very fast, and this will increase the scarcity. It will push the price, and then you, as a creator, you actually can make a good decent amount of profit with selling off the BitUSD or BitEuro to the market, and cover your cost, and basically finance your bank loan that you maybe took, or maybe you just paid it like that in cash. So I'm looking forward to actually to see how we can really increase the liquidity, how to write more business plans about how you can make a profit with trading. And another good thing that was, since Dash is so high up now, I think it's a good time to also show them other platforms to invest in, and to give them new opportunities, because there's also a lot of rumors about Dash. But I think that's with every blockchain, with every community. You have rumors about the foundation, and there's always a little bit of a trouble. Fraction Node, what's your comment again here? Well, I see one commentary back to the URA, to the interface topic. T-Bone was having the opinion basically that if you're gonna have the bitshares.org/wallet interface, it would be probably better to just, when you want to go through the USD only market, then it's just a subcategory. It's not that you have 10 different domains with 10 different interfaces, and for each currency, it is more a special setting where you just click, okay, I want to see everything about US dollar, I want to see everything about euro, and this is the interface. And for me, very simple to trade. I think that is also a good way how to keep the domain, keep it clean and simple, and everybody are going to be happy.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, you could have by default when you first visit bitshares.org/wallets as a new user, so it could just be limited to BitUSD markets. And then somewhere in the settings, there's a little tick box hidden away where you can click other market pairs that you want added. Yeah, that could be good. Or different setups. So if you only want, yeah.
And I wonder whether maybe on the very first screen, would it be worth asking the user what kind of market or view or mode you would like to see?
Well, that could make sense. You can basically ask it through the location where you're from, and then a standard could be USD. And if you want to switch from the standard USD market to your local market, then you can easily do that with a couple of clicks.
But I mean, I think the main idea of pushing everyone into BitUSD is a liquidity issue. So it's not necessarily a localization issue. So even people in Europe, I think they should all still be using BitUSD until that market's liquid. I mean, I live in the UK. I know no one else uses the pound. So BitUSD is what everything trades in, whether it's oil or gold. It's the world's reserve currency. So I think it's part of it's about forcing people to use dollars and think in dollars just until we have liquidity, and then other bit assets may be viable.
Okay, I think we got a lot of good ideas about the customization. I think we can consider that for the next interface. And we can also, of course, always, if you have good feedback, if you want to learn more about the BitShares ecosystem, I think one of the best ways how to reach out to everybody here is if you go to the Telegram chat. If you go to telegram.me/BitSharesDEX for decentralized exchange, you can join us for the daily discussions. And also there you're going to have one of our active workers, SVK. He's initiator of the whole interface and GUI for the BitShares decentralized exchange. You can reach out to him, you can give him suggestions, and if you have feedback, maybe you found a bug, then also on GitHub you can easily report that. And then I'm looking forward to get a couple of new things. I see we discussed a lot about how we can improve the BitShares interface. Also, there were some topics to maybe link the BitShares chat with the Telegram channel so that you have a chat in both, yeah, so you can talk left and right. I think that's going to be quite exciting to add that in the future. And in this way, I would say it was a very nice talk for this week. Thank you very much. And we're going to continue in a couple of minutes with the next show, Beyond Bitcoin, coming up today. Fuzzy was just telling me that he is on the way to the airport. He's going back from the Philippines. So I'm just going to take a short break, gonna get some coffee, and then we're going to kick off the Beyond Bitcoin show for today. And I think we have a lot of different cool topics to talk about. What is going to happening? A lot of new insights and talks and projects, and I'm looking forward to hear and see and talk to all of you in the next Beyond Bitcoin show. And that is for it for now. Let's continue, and thank you everybody for joining this week in the BitShares Hangout. And I'm looking forward to talk to all of you next Friday, same time, 2 p.m. UTC here on the Mumbles. My name is Chris 40 to 10. Looking forward to talk all of you very soon. Thank you.